Welcome, my friends, to the Spirituality, Healing, and Vision Quest podcast, where we're going to take a deep dive into universal spiritual principles and ground them in modern day practices that you can apply to your life today. Hi, my name is Beth Berkins, and I want you to know that I am really committed to simplifying ancient wisdom practices. I've been studying them for over 40 years now and inside of them, and I want to give you easy to understand, proven, and reliable keys that are going to unlock true sources of power and healing for you. You're going to walk away from this podcast with some practical tools to create that greater meaning and purpose, that larger purpose that your soul is calling you to. All right, so let's get going on the next episode. Thanks for joining me. Hello, my friend. Beth Berkins here. Thanks for joining me on this wonderful podcast, Spirituality, Healing, and the Vision Quest. Today, I want to talk with you about callings. I've just started a new Vision Quest group, and I've been thinking about the callings, the pulls that my new questers have come to this work with this week. And I'm reminded of the beautiful Rumi poem that goes like this: "Let yourself be drawn by the stronger pull of what you really love." And the thing is, we're all meant for more. We're here, we're alive, we've gotten this far in our lives, and there is more for us. Sometimes we find ourselves just kind of settling, avoiding wanting to make the change, wanting to change trains, right? And move the luggage and the baggage with us. And yet, there is this calling. So let's talk about the call to a greater life. I'm sure you have a good life already, and you are meant for more. There is a greater life that is calling to you. I'm guessing that's why you're on this podcast. There's something of your spiritual path that's wanting your attention, something of your vocation that's wanting your attention, something of your health that wants improvement, something of relationships, something of, more free time, more financial freedom, that call to a greater life. So I'm sitting here at the virtual base camp fire, all the Vision Quests I've led here and in the Italian Alps and the Swiss Alps and Death Valley, and I'm sitting here with this beautiful fire, and there's a circle of visionary seekers gathered around me, each in her own chair, and there's an empty chair. And it's got your name on it. I invite you to sit down, take your place here around this sacred circle, and let's talk about, I think, one of the best ways to look at callings, the way I want to start, because, I teach shamanism and have been teaching it for over 30 years now and been a practitioner of it and a shamanic healer. It's amazing the classic ways that shamans get their callings. There's so many ways callings can come, and I'll tell you these stories and hope maybe one of them sparks something in you. I'm thinking of the great Lakota shaman Black Elk. As a young boy, he was having visions, he was having dreams about his people and about the horses of the four directions and about healing for the people, but he was so shy, he couldn't share it. He didn't know how to talk about these things. He had these visions going on until he was about 11, for about 6 years. And finally, the energy was so dammed up in him, he was at a point of near death, and the shamans went in and they had to look and see what was going on, in his soul. And they saw these visions, and they came out and they told him, "You must share these or you will die." And so he did. and the visions were enacted. I'd love to tell you more about this story, but you can read about this if you're interested in a book called Black Elk Speaks. He was healed by sharing his story, and everyone knowing about it and participating in it. The whole tribe was healed. And then I'm thinking about another shaman, Maria Sabina, down in Mexico, Mazatec shaman. As a young girl, she and her sister, they would get up in the morning, they'd be really hungry, but the parents went to the fields and the girls were left to wander around in the wilderness. And one day Maria found some beautiful mushrooms growing on the side of a tree. And out of hunger, she started to eat them. And her calling just came upon her. She started to go into trance, and she started to sing some of the sacred songs of the spirits. Her sister was also eating them, but she did not have this response. Maria was called by what she called the principal ones, the helping spirits. She was being called to become a shaman, become a healer for her people. I'm thinking of another shaman, Florence Jones, a Wintu shaman up in the Mount Shasta area of California. Now, it was recognized when she was very young by the shamans in her tribe that she had the gift of healing. And so they started her training very young. And this is sometimes the case in indigenous cultures where a child is recognized to have this gift. She was recognized, she was put out on the McCloud River, had to navigate the river and, on her vision quest as a young girl and up on Mount Shasta. And really the spirits trained her out there. And I'm thinking of yet another shaman, a Nepalese shaman, modern day times now. His father was the shaman and very gifted man, very gifted shaman. And the son would help him a little bit with getting the tools out and getting the drums ready. And the father reached a point where he was going to die, and he said to his son, "You're next. I'm passing the calling on to you." Sometimes the calling is inherited. And the son said, no. I don't want to have anything to do with that. No, that's not for me. That's yours, Father. Father died. Father kept coming to him in dreams at night saying, "My son, this is your calling. Please take it up. The people need you." And so he didn't want it, but people could tell something was valuable there with this guy. And so they started coming to him and saying, "I'm sick, or I'm suffering, or I've had this loss. I really need help." And so the son just said, "Well, I'll just practice a little bit, right? I'll just work with the spirits a little bit." And soon he was full on in it and is totally gifted as his father was gifted. So you think about callings, and there's lots of things we in the modern world can do with a calling that we're getting. I don't know what you might be being called to. Could be you've been called to write your stories down, and you've got a book inside of you, right? Or maybe you're being called to do healing work. This is what I'm hearing from my new vision questers. One woman knows she's a Reiki healer. She's level 2 in Reiki. She knew it the first time she received Reiki. She's got a calling to that, but something has been stopping her, old beliefs, old stories. So she joined the Vision Quest to get unhooked from those and to get free and to move on into her larger calling. Another of the new Vision Questers is very drawn to being on stage and leading her own workshops and getting out of the corporate world. So, what can we do with a calling? Well, we can answer it, right? A lot of people don't do that, however. They get a calling for, for greater meaning, greater purpose. And a lot of people put that call on hold. They just press the hold button, right? Delay it. I'll do this when I'm retired. I'll answer this call, after the holidays. Many ways to put things on hold. Others just try to call forward it and give it like the Father to the Son. Give it to the Son. It's my nephew. He's really talented in art. I'm going to encourage him. I'm going to support him and send him through college so he can do that. Call forward it. We can also just totally hang up on the call. Give up completely. A lot of people do that. But the thing about that is, the danger of that is that this is life. This is life energy that's calling to you as longings, yearnings. It wants to be expressed. And when we squash down the calling and repress it and hang up on it, that can symptomize in our lives, as it did with Black Elk, the young boy. You got these symptoms of being sick to the point of dying. We can have all kinds of thoughts that stop us. And we're not going to go into those. We did that in one of the previous podcasts. But what I want to go into is, I just ask you, my friend, what are you doing with your calling to a greater life? And say to you, whatever you've been doing, it's okay. It's good. It's gotten you this far, but here you are on this podcast. And I think there's an opportunity that's right here in front of you to lay down some new track. I'm guessing you're on this podcast because you have some kind of calling to something greater. And perhaps there's an inner readiness that's like bubbling up, an inner force that's saying, it's time. Let's go for this. Something pulling you forward, right? You might be tired of settling for the job where you have to, hang your soul up at the door before you go in. Might be tired of the same old every day. Spinning your wheels. There's something more for you. And you wanna go ahead with it. So I'm just going to invite you, if you'd like to share that with me, there's a Q&A box. As you complete the circle of this podcast, the Q&A box will come up and will say something like, what did you think of this session? If you'd like to share what your calling is, just know I'm here, and it can be super helpful to just type that in, to get that out there, not just have it, tucked away inside on the back burner, to just really let me know. I'm a guide, I'm a mentor, I'm trained in this. I know without a shadow of a doubt, I'll be able to really hear that and hold that with you. I understand callings. Maybe your calling is to really help others somehow, or to serve others with healing. You want to go into body work, or you want to go into Reiki, or you've got this book inside of you. Or you want to really get in shape, and you want to, be able to run a half marathon. Or maybe you want to start your own business. Whatever that calling is, go ahead and type that in to that Q&A. Maybe you just know you want to help others in some significant way. One of my New Vision Questers, that's how he puts it. I don't know what it is I want to do, but I really want to help others. And I'm going to figure that out, right? So I'm encouraging you, I always want to give you an action step. So one might be, put something in the Q&A box, express what's going on inside of you. You can write as much as you want there. You can start your book there if you want to, whatever's going to serve you. I'm encouraging you to take a little baby step today, to lay down a little tiny bit of new track for yourself. And, it might be those little narrow tracks that go up from the Lake of Lucerne up to the mountain, the Reiki mountain, where I've taught so many times. Something. You don't have to install a whole new railroad system here. I'm just inviting you to do a little something that calls to you, something that pulls to you. I remember I was at one of my coaching conferences with my mentors, and we were all given an invitation to just get on your Facebook page and just, tell your people, hey, you've got 2 free breakthrough calls or strategy sessions available. And, if they're in a place where that would, serve them, just to, what was it called? DM me. I didn't even know what DM meant. Direct message me. And so, all like 250 people did that. And by lunchtime, I had a reply that literally so surprised me and shocked me. It kind of took my breath away, actually. The former vice president of the college where I had been teaching sociology in Mount Shasta, he DM'd me and said, I'm in this transition in my life. I could really use some support. Thanks for reaching out. It was just like a baby step, offering 2 calls, and it was so helpful. It just started the whole movement going for me. I took baby steps, but I'm offering that you do that. Take an action step today. And one of the keys of making a quantum leap in life, just to name this for you, it's to start what you really want to do, start what you're called to, start before you're ready. Just start before you're ready. You don't have to have everything organized. You don't have to have your notebook full of, ABC, Roman numeral 1, Roman numeral 2. You don't have to have all that in place. You just have to know what you would love, feel that, just start before you're ready. Just take a step. That's really how we get started. If we wait until we have the entire picture, we'll never do it, because we spend our time doing the entire picture, trying to have it perfect. And, the perfectionism creates the delay. So I invite you to just, throw off those shackles of delay. Like Mark Twain says, just throw them off. Throw off the bow lines and just get your ship a little bit out into the ocean. So thank you for engaging with thinking about what your calling is and thinking about the classic ways shamans are called to shamanism and called by the spirits and called to shamanic healing. So one more thing before we close here. If you're someone who would really love some more support, and you'd like some help in having a clearer understanding of where you are right now in your life, on your path, or a clear understanding of what this calling is about, I recommend that you hop on a breakthrough call with me. This is completely complimentary, completely free. I love to do these on Zoom with people, where I can help you understand more deeply the energetic patterns going on, the energetic patterns that might be holding you hostage, the ones that you really need to shift, so you can really cultivate a vision to guide your life. Let me share my practice called shaman visioning with you. Let's get a vision for your life. Then we can talk about action steps that you can take to really bridge the gap from where you are now to where you would love to be in your life, where you really want to be in your life. This call to have a life, a greater life. How do you bridge that gap? Let's talk about that. Give you some action steps for that. So it's a full 1 hour live call with me where you get support in all of this. And then at the end, if it looks like we're a good fit to work together, we'll talk about the programs that I have to offer, the Vision Quest, Shamanism programs, Dream Builder coaching. But this session is completely free, my gift to you. So if you feel guided and open and would benefit from this kind of direct one-on-one support, just click on the free gift from Beth link that's below this podcast. And I look forward to hearing from you soon. So that's it for today. Thanks for tuning in. I really hope you enjoyed listening to this episode as much as I enjoyed recording it. So any questions, any comments, please feel free to connect with me personally on my website, bethbergens.com. And if you feel guided to, one thing that I do ask is for you to rate the podcast. This way we can reach way more people, and in that way impact more lives, of course. So with that, I'll see you on the next exciting Spirituality and Vision Quest podcast.